You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
All right, is this thing on? Yep. I see the bars.
Word. It's working.
Buddha Monk's in the trunk.
What's up?
I love that beat, by the way. Hey, if you're listening to this and the intro is actually a track on my SoundCloud page, the beat itself is called Turn the Bass Up. So if you want to hear that song in its entirety, just download it. It's a free download. Just download the shit. Did I say download it? Did I mention download it? But yeah, I love that fucking track. It's like it's from a popular song from like I think from the 50s. I can't even think the name of it, but it's like this something of something. I don't know, but I've always wanted to make a beat out of that motherfucker. Nice. But how are you, Jake? Hey.
I'm good. It snowed.
Yeah. By the way, welcome to another edition. I think this is the 23rd edition of Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast.
Yeah.
We're sitting in like 18 yards of snow. We my house is covered in snow.
How do you get here? I had to go through the frozen tundra foot by foot.
Yeah, man. The frozen tundra is what we got here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Other than the fact that it's freezing cold out, I'm going through some financial hard times. Shit.
I hear you.
Yeah, I hate this shit. Everything's fucking with my money around this time.
I hear you, man. February's not a good month.
Let me borrow $1.
$1?
Yeah.
Okay, I can give you $1.
Can I get like a lot of the dollars?
I mean, what?
A lot of dollars. I need like 1,000 of them.
No, I don't have $1,000.
You got 1,000 of them, but you just won't give it to me.
I don't have $1,000.
You got like 17,000 of them. You can't give me 1,000.
Where you getting this?
Because you work like 1 million hours a week.
This is true. I do work a bunch, but I mean, that goes to bills. Like constant having to pay stuff.
You need to work on your white privilege thing. You need to work on that. You're white, man. You can do everything. We just got lost 2 listeners after that. But yeah, man. How are you?
No, I'm good, man. School is taking a little break because of the snow, so I've been able to catch up on school, which is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
And my work hasn't been canceled, so I've been making money every day. I don't know, how's it been for you, man?
Again, struggling hard. Hard times. That's why they put hard times on Peter. The hard times. I hope people get that reference.
Well, what'd you think of Raw?
Didn't we see this episode last week?
Yeah, it was kind of
Is it like the same episode? It's like if you could watch last week's episode, you watch this week's episode.
Well, I mean, Flair was in it, so that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that was kind of cool.
I watched it live this week because of the snow.
Man.
We were able to get out a little early.
Yeah, which I thought it was pretty funny that you you either retweeted or favorited my comment. I was like, what the fuck? Did he watch it? Is he watching live?
I was watching live, but still on my computer, so like I didn't want to mess up the stream. So whenever there was advertisements, I got in there.
Yeah. What is it?
Not to incriminate myself.
What were you watching? How were you?
I just.
I mean, fuck it. You streaming it?
Yeah, Google search Raw and then the date.
Go at T. Go. I see you doing it.
Yeah, I bookmark a few things. Yeah. That's how I've been watching the new Japan. You've been watching that stuff?
I watched the last. I've been trying to get through the 2 events they had. The beginning in Osaka and then beginning of Side-Eye. I haven't got to that yet. I'm like 75% through Osaka, and then I got through some of the the access, and I got all the way to Debit versus Okada, and I haven't seen the match yet, so don't give me any spoilers.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And then we're going into Fastlane this Sunday, right?
Yeah, this was the go home show, huh?
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
Fucking Fastlane. You know what? Let's just do one quick 5-minute spiel on NXT, the NXT takeover. So I listened to your podcast, and you seem fucking.
I didn't really like it, man.
You were underwhelmed.
I haven't seen the NXT show that aired last night, but
you were underwhelmed.
Yeah, it wasn't really that.
It broke your heart, didn't it?
It kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit. It didn't break my heart. I mean, like, if the product continues to go that way, I guess it would kind of break my heart. But, like, just one bad show. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to...
What is your level... Now, this is something, I don't know
I thought it was going to be a 10. I thought it was going to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because you always think anything NXT or anything other than Raw is going to be a fucking 10. You're such a mark.
Oh,
and like, this is what I was talking to, I don't know if you were, listened to me and Nathan. What up, Nate? I don't know if you listened to our conversation, but we had a pretty decent conversation about it. I mean, it's worth listening to, and I would like for you to go listen to it. It's like the first 15, 20 minutes of our conversation, but look into it. Like, just listen to it and see my thoughts on it. But like, just to say one thing, I felt like the last takeover, which was Revolution, raised the bar. And I think if anyone came out of this underwhelmed, it's because Revolution set the bar a little too high.
Well, the other ones have been better than this. Like, there's no excuses for the blind spots and things like that.
But I think for some reason, very much like Wrestle Kingdom 9 for New Japan, that tipped for them. Like, that tipped. They gained a lot of new viewership through the way that Global Force booked that. They got JR and Max Striker in. You finally got to see who these...
Is there American announcers on the beginning?
On what? No. They just booked this one. Wrestle Kingdom 9 was like, look, dude, you got this awesome cards. You got these awesome wrestlers. Let's get it to the American audience. And from that, it tipped. Like, seriously, I imagined 100,000 new fans in America. 300,000. I mean, depending on how many New Japan World subscribers there are. Because as soon as Wrestle Kingdom 9, they just came out with a whole fleet of things. Access TV, with the whole, going back in time to tell you the story. Boom, it peaked. They got New Japan World, the Japan version of the WWE Network. Like, everything else from above Wrestle Kingdom 9 is going to have to measure up to it, And just so happens that these are seasoned veterans, so they can always deliver. Unlike NXT, these guys are seasoned indie veterans.
I would say not Prince Devitt or Kenta.
Seasoned indie veterans.
Prince Devitt is in New Japan, so if you're saying that these people in New Japan now are seasoned veterans, Prince Devitt was a star in New Japan.
Well, he wasn't the cause of why the show was underwhelming. I mean, his match with Kenta. Was it Kenta? No, it was with Adrian Neville.
Yeah.
I mean, that rose to the occasion.
Yeah, but if they're on the world stage now, so that's how you're going to judge them. Like, it's on TV, it's on Hulu, like, it's on WWE Network. Like,
I guess the comparison I was making is that when you rise up to the likes of the WWE, the expectations are actually pretty low into what you're on a big stage, and you go in like, oh god, they're gonna go, Vince is gonna take them and ruin them, right? But NXT, what's great about NXT is that they're still developing, and it has to be looked at it that way. And again, I think Takeover 3. I think this was what Takeover 3 was so good. Revolution. I started watching NXT more because of it, along with everyone else. And I'm like, I went in thinking this has to be as good as Revolution. It has to be. It just has to be, from the fucking opening card all the way to the main event. And the first two matches, the Lucha Dragons and Murphy and Dale Murphy, what the fuck is their names are?
And Blake, yeah.
And oh god, that clusterfuck of a match between Bull Dempsey and those guys are still young. I mean, whatever. Yeah, just like Court Bauer said, you got a bad day in the office.
Yeah, but you should then recognize it as a bad day. You should not say it's okay. You should just say, well, it is bad. Like, we'll see what happens.
No, which is awesome. because I never to this day think that you or any other person I listen to on like podcasts and shit would say that NXT did anything wrong.
Oh, well, did you watch it? You saw the tag match?
Yeah, I saw it.
That's pretty bad.
Kalisto, I mean, it was one botch. It was one really.
No, it was two right away, right?
Okay. Yeah, it was two botches.
Blake forgot to, like, turn on the head scissors.
Yeah.
And then Kalisto just didn't dive over the rope. Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. The pressure's high.
Yeah,
I mean, their takeovers
cool.
are basically their WrestleManias, you know, and they all got to perform at a high. They're thinking, and that's part of the development, you know. It's not like you can watch, you know, even the undercard of the WrestleMania. Those guys are going to go out there and really give a good match, regardless of what storyline led to the match or what have you. Yeah. But the Divas, I mean,
that Divas match is awesome.
Dude, it stole the show from me. Yeah. It really did, and you have to listen to the podcast. I mean, that me and Nate did. What up, Nate? And I go in more detail about how I felt about the match. I don't know. It just surprises me that people don't want to take the bumps and bruises. Like, don't be underwhelmed. Like, it's development. We get them next time, rather than just like, I don't know.
And then plus, like, the storyline of the main event where they lost the belt, like, that was pretty shitty. Like, a disqualification, the belt goes to the champ. That's how it always works. But for some reason, this disqualification of just, I don't know.
It was because he was rendered helpless. I mean, if that's what happens in UFC. I mean, like, if you want this to be a big fight feel, and you want this to be taken as a legitimate sport, things like that have to happen. Like, boom. You go to a boxing ring, you get into the octagon, you get knocked out.
Well, they should.
When you got the black guy pulling you off, like the dude with the dreads pulling you off, that means you're rendered helpless. You cannot fight anymore. And if it's for the belt, that shit go over to who the hell beat you to.
I can see that.
Stuff a mud hole in your ass.
They should make mention of that it as something new in wrestling, because it's not new in wrestling. But they should just make mention of it beforehand.
Don't you think that's maybe just a little too detailed, a little too petty? Like, we got to go over, because it's like, this is my pinfall or submission. That's just a little detail that the average person did not pay attention to.
Man, I guess, man, that might be. I never even thought about it like that. I always thought like everyone just watches wrestling. Like,
well, I mean, that's what's great about listening to Court Bauer. That's what's great about listening to you know, all these, you know, Wade Keller and Dave Meltzer. That's what's great, because they pay attention to those details. And we, as, you know, we're babies to this. You know, we like wrestling, but in terms of like having conversations and quote unquote like press, I mean, we're not considered press, but people listen to us to get their like review on, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't realize those things until they bring them up, because they've been at it for such a long time. And I don't know, I think a very small percentage, it's like DJing, you know, like I walk into a place and 90% of the room gives a fuck about a train crash, a train wreck, you know. No one, you know, it's music. There's dance. They don't understand the idea of beat matching and all that stuff. But then there's like 10% of other DJs in the crowd who's just like nitpicking and stuff. You know, like it's hard for us to take it in and just have fun and just take it for what it is. And I think that match right there was one of those things where it's like, I didn't have a problem with. It was brutal. It told a great story, and he got the belt off of Zayn. I mean, I'm curious about what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. I mean, Zayn as a traditional champion, even though it's transitional champion, like that's kind of, I don't know, that's a bummer. Like I thought he was gonna hold it for a while, like Neville held it, but what can you do? You know, maybe that means that he's going to WWE soon.
I hope he doesn't. Just renegotiate the contract and stay on NXT. Give him WWE main roster money on NXT. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I can see that.
They get up there and ruin. Right. But anyway,
we gotta like jump into this Raw. I know it's kind of lackluster, but I think the layout was kind of interesting. How they set it up, like
Raw Orlando.
Yeah, and they started out with Cena. Well, since I watched it live, I missed the first segment, but I kind of saw the recaps where Cena just attacked Rusev, What did you think? Maybe you can go into.
Well, it was
detail.
funny too because I was sort of preparing dinner during that, so I was able to overhear some things. I got to catch, it was just like them talking about last week, and then Lana talks about how Cena doesn't get it, and how Rusev is superior. Rusev spits a bad English promo, which I always love.
Yeah.
And, and Cena beats the living crap out of him. Like an asshole. That's like asshole Cena. Like he threw him into the fucking LED lights.
Well, didn't Rusev attack him last week?
Yeah, but he attacked him, he put him out, and he stepped away.
Oh, yeah.
He put him down, and he fucking walked away. Like a real fucking champion would. Not Cena. Cena gets him down. He knocks him out.
Yeah.
Then he climbs on top of him, and he beats him to a bloody pulp. And it's like stands on top of him with his foot on top. And it's like, wait a minute, Cena, you don't have to do that. Who's the heel here? The guy's locked out. What joy out of a hero is gonna beat someone down while they're down? He was clearly out. I mean,
yeah. And then
asshole.
Then the real story is he held up the U.S. belt out the top of the ramp after he did it.
I think him like.
Do you think he might?
I think him going fucking like Terry Funk on a motherfucker. It's more the story. Like I've said it once. I've said it a million times. That belt is not going on Cena.
Okay. And then we did it was like a weekend update type of thing with Dean Ambrose talking about signing the contract for the Intercontinental title. And then we had Harper versus Ambrose.
It was a dumb news thing.
Yeah. It was alright.
Dumb!
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing, Kevin Dunn? Like, Dean's a real trooper. He takes those little bad things and he makes them great.
For sure. And it was alright. Like Harper, I think let's see.
What are you going over, the match?
Yeah, the match.
It wasn't. It was just a typical match. It was a decent match. I'm preparing dinner doing this.
Whenever did you see how he got out of he did like the Liger, like Rey Mysterio thing, getting out of the armbar, stood on his head. Harper.
No.
And then he spun out of it. Like it's like traditionally like a lucha move, but like big Harper did that, so that was kind of sick. But
how many times can we address the fact that Luke Harper is probably one of the biggest anomalies on that roster? I mean, to be as big as he is, to be as athletic as he is,
yeah,
I think it's crazy. And then for him just to be kind of an enhancement guy, I will not use the word jobber anymore.
Well, I wouldn't say he would be a jobber. He's like.
Well, most people think he's getting buried or doing the job, and I'm like, I don't see him as doing the job as much as. I think I was listening to Wade, Keller, and Caldwell, and they were mentioning something about somebody being just a good win. Like, it's a good win.
Yeah, Harper or Cesaro or...
Harper, yeah. Like, when you beat those guys, it's a good win for whoever's getting the push.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dean won with the double arm DDT, or it's the Nigel clothesline to a double arm DDT.
Oh, the Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, and then...
Why has no one talked about that? That's weird.
And then Ambrose wins, and then they went on to Big Show and Kane having like an argument in the back because there's something that happened on SmackDown. I didn't watch SmackDown, but did you have anything to really say about that?
It was the it's basically it was the turmoil, tag team turmoil, and it was basically a repeat of what happened to end the Rumble, how they got tossed out by Reigns. They just basically turn on each other. They do the same thing in the main event of the tag team turmoil match between, because they made it to they were the last to go up against Bryan and Reigns, and it basically turned on each other the same way they did at the Rumble, and that's what that was. I mean,
they're just heels,
It's how many times, because if there's one match. And we could talk shit about the entire WrestleMania card or what have you. They better just resort Kane versus Big Show to fucking Fastlane and get the fuck out of
Do you
it.
think that's gonna be a Mania match, or do you think they're just...
Oh, I'm just.
I do not think. I didn't even.
If it's just resentment between those two, it better be on just Fastlane, and it's going to be Kane is going to be the face.
I don't know. I didn't even think about that. I just thought they were just trying to like make tension with the Authority. I hope they don't have that be a Mania match.
I don't mind if it's Fastlane.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
It better not go to fucking Mania.
I never want to see it, but I would hate it if it was on Mania.
And hell, for those guys even to making a Mania, like, who would they even face?
Yeah.
Ascension? Nope. Anyway.
And then we went into break, continuing those great promos. What'd you think of this one? It was pretty nice. I like the second one better, but this one was good too.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh,
I was cooking.
Oh, then we went into the Dust Brothers with Dusty Rhodes stands up, does his promo about family, gets them all.
I love my two boys, Daddy. I love my boys. I don't want y'all out there. I don't want y'all out there hating each other because we Rhodes, we stick together, baby.
You gotta love Dusty. This was awesome having Dusty Rhodes and Flair on the show tonight in Orlando, Florida, no less.
I know, that's because that's home.
Yeah, New Day and Dust Brothers out there wrestling. Kofi and Woods instead of Kofi and Big E like we've been
I know,
seeing.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
Must be healed up. I guess he got the cloth on his knee or something. The handkerchief. He must have did some Mr. Miyagi type shit on that with that damn
handkerchief.
Yeah, man.
And then we went to
I haven't seen the Trouble in Paradise in ages.
Yeah, the real story here is like the Dust Brothers get like tied up, and then Kofi like kicks Goldust, and then the New Day wins, right? And then Stardust turns on Goldust, thinking like they get like tied up into each other. Kofi kicks Goldust, and then Goldust hits Stardust.
It's just one of those things where you see Cody kind of toss him into. I mean, it looks like he's just getting out of the way. He should have stood there, I guess, in terms of like, let me protect my brother.
Yeah.
But it looks like he got out of the way. But it looks more like he actually tossed him into Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah.
And when at the end it looks like this is sometimes I hate being a mark because I don't want to see things like this coming. And that entire segment where at the end of the match, where he's sort of helping him up, and I'm sitting there, it's like, just go ahead and turn already, like, you know. And I'm like, I wish it's a moment like that I just want to surprise me, but there was no surprises. Even the setup, it just looked too like, you're gonna do it now, you can do it later.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, yeah, we all saw it coming. I guess this is...
Crossroads he hit on.
I think this is going to be a good match at Mania. Hopefully they don't push it to Fastlane and announce it on SmackDown.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like it's just going to be stuck on Fastlane. I mean, they want that Mania match. It's times like this I just wish that Elimination Chamber was gone, and then just that entire piece between the Rumble and Mania just was eliminated. Like, just... go fucking 8 months without a fucking pay-per-view, okay? Just go 8 months. Build
8 weeks,
stories.
8 weeks.
Huh?
8 weeks.
8 weeks, just... What'd I say?
8 months.
I mean 8 weeks, but just let that part breathe. There's no hurrying up of things.
I agree.
And this is just... You can see there... Okay, it's been 3 weeks of dissension. But I see this as a fast lane, not a Mania. And that would be a huge disappointment. And if it is Mania, better be Cody. It better be Goldust versus Dustin. That would be.
Yeah, that would be the story there.
Stardust.
We've seen Cody in the last few years. We've seen Goldust in the last few years. We haven't seen where Cody just takes on the gimmick. You know, that'd be a good storyline to like keep the gimmick and then Dustin retire, or maybe just retire for a few years. Or even a few months.
I wish we could go to Japan. I wish, honestly, Vince would just say, you know what? Go wrestle in Japan. I'm gonna give you the Intercontinental belt. Take the Intercontinental belt to Japan, and just get over there with this Stardust gimmick. Because I love Stardust, but apparently it's not getting over as good as I thought it would. You know. This is just straight Japan shit, and I don't know. it's just turning out bad for me. It's a bad buzz. I have no hopes for this. But if they give me Dustin versus Stardust at WrestleMania, that would be great.
Yeah, that's all you really want. And then they went on to Rowan in the back. Roman Reigns in the back. And his delivery's getting better, but I mean, it's
Saxon's being a dick.
Yeah. What do you mean?
He's talking to him, and then he pulls a Peter Vesey on his ass. He's like, is it because you got manipulated by the authority and that, it was like kind of like a dick move, like that moment where, was it Vesey? It was one of those guys interviewing Pete Rose. It was like something, it was like this really awesome moment in history and press where they're talking to Pete Rose because he got some sort of award or some Vanguard something, and the guy was just like brought up his gambling, just like out of the blue. Like, what? This is a special moment for me. You mean to tell me that like you're gonna bring this shit up? But it was sort of like what Saxon did with Reigns, and he's like, is it because you didn't deserve to win the Royal Rumble and you were manipulated by the authority to give up your spot, kind of shit like that, and Wrasslin gives, it's like, public opinion. Like, he went into the public opinion to the idea that they used the court of public opinion to go into to try to get Rollins in that spot and not Reigns, which I thought was a good written answer for that kind of thing. Like let's talk about it, but let's dodge. Let's try to get the, you know what I'm saying? What's word I want to use? Like,
beat around the bush kind of?
Yeah, it was like a beat around the bush answer. And then he mentions how if he would have gotten thrown out, to address the Daniel Bryan thing, if he would have been thrown out, he would have been thrown out and taken it as a man and gotten thrown out. And he talks about how he gave Daniel Bryan the opportunity, not the authority.
Yeah, and then the next match is Bryan on commentary with Roman Reigns versus Kane. And then when he comes out, big yes chants, and it's pretty apparent that Bryan's over and stuff. But it distracts Roman, like he's doing these yes chants on purpose to distract.
Well, here's the thing, and I hate that they did this. And WWE does this from time to time, where first Bryan comes out, right?
It distracts Kane, and then Roman's.
But check this out. Bryan comes out. Because we're missing a piece to the puzzle here. Bryan comes out, they get the yes chance, they go to commercial break. They come back, it's a backstage segment with Dustin and Dusty Rhodes. Like right in between Bryan and whatever the fuck match he's about to go into.
Yeah. And
he basically just gives I would think he was gonna pop him. Like I thought it was like, that was a decent segment where Cody is he's just in full Stardust mode, and this I think stamps it, where he's like, he's talking crazy, good promo. I mean, he's you could see that he's lost himself in the Stardust role, and he's talking about how Cody is dead, and then he goes, my father's dead. Like he says something like, and yeah, Cody's dead, and so is my father. And they're sitting there like, whoa. He's completely disconnected himself from not only his brother, from the world, but also from his father. And how Dusty's going to play it into this feud moving forward. Because that's pretty big. I mean, for me, to see Cody, I don't think there's ever been a spot for Cody to actually address his family turmoil, because they're from two different mothers, and Dusty has always been the favorite one, and that's what he was talking about. And now he's finally addressed it, got it out in the open, like, my father's dead, I've always had to blah 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 blah. But anyway, I just thought it was worth mentioning before they came, because honestly, this fucking segment meant way the fuck more than this Reigns versus Kane match.
Yeah, it was just like Bryan was doing the yes chant to get distracted, ended up distracting Kane. Roman hits him with the spear. Roman wins, and then Bryan
being a dick.
Yeah, being a dick gets.
I told you this was gonna happen.
Yeah, gets the yes chants going to like drown out Roman winning, which is he's just kind of being a dick. I don't know. It's not the way I would go with him, but that's the way they're doing it.
And he wins via count out.
Yeah, and then we have another Bray promo, which is this one was awesome. Where he talks about like all the years he's like hammering the stake in the coffin. I think they're gonna reveal that he's building a coffin and stuff like that. I really like the way they're going with this, and that's definitely gonna be a good match for Mania. I think Bray versus Taker.
Not a lot of people feel that way. I mean, I'm excited about it, but a lot of people not. The next segment is it's just a short segment with Daniel Bryan with Renee Young backstage, and he's just being snarky Daniel Bryan. They're making him pretty unlikable. That's what's happening right now. I mean, both Reigns and him are looking pretty unlikable, but like I saw a snarky Daniel Bryan happening, and this is what we're getting right now. And this just concludes how he's not going to be in the three-way at the end. They're not going to put snarky Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really looking forward to this. I mean, we saw that's how like before he started teaming with Kane a few years ago. This is what he was, and he got over then. But now that now that he's Superman, like kind of the Rey Mysterio role, like the Captain Underdog. I do not think they need to make him a heel until like a few years down the line.
It's definitely backwards thinking, but this is the philosophy of the WWE. This is Vince McMahon. This is Kevin Dunn. They're really going with Reigns, and regardless of how you or I or anybody feels, and how big the yes chant movement is, and how this guy is probably the most universally liked guy since The Rock and Stone Cold, like there hasn't been a guy. It's always been split down the middle, regardless of who the fuck's in the ring. Whether it's Orton, Cena, Batista, always split down the middle.
Yep.
This guy's just universally liked by everyone, and you're gonna take that guy, and you're gonna be like, okay, I know y'all love him and stuff, but yeah, we're gonna turn him heel.
Yeah. That's
wrestling, man. That's just the way they do it over there.
Well, if you look at it, like they could have. That's what they kind of always did with Angle. Like Angle was so good at being a heel. Whenever they needed a heel, they would turn him, even though he was just as popular as at the time as the main faces.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's just what they do. If they see you as a heel, you're gonna be a heel.
But they don't see Bryan as a heel. I think they don't even see Bryan as a rostered character. Yeah. Bryan is fucking Zack Ryder, these guys. They're like, oh my god, we gotta deal with this shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he was never in the picture. And now all of a sudden we gotta deal with it because the fans just all of a sudden, 2 WrestleManias ago, just decided to get behind him. And turned it to this fucking amazing run. They were so glad when his ass got hurt.
Yeah, that's probably true.
He still has no rematch. He never lost. They don't give a fuck. Kayfabe, my ass. Fuck his rerun. Fuck his rematch. We're going to just appease the fans, but we're running with Reigns. And so we're going to turn this fucker heel. And
well, what do you think they could do? Do you think they're going to do now Bryan Ziggler?
No, they're going to do Bryan Sheamus. They're going to go straight to they're going to go to last year's booking. I'm telling you. The return of Sheamus is basically him showing up to Fastlane. He's gonna broke the living fuck.
With Sheamus and him, I think that was like 28, man. I think because I know Kane and Bryan had a Mania, and then last year's Mania.
No, that was the 18-second Mania though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The 18-second Mania, I think, was 3 Manias ago. 2 Manias.
Yeah.
Ago. 3. Yeah.
2. It was
No. Because Kane and Bryan, Team Hell No had a Mania.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So. Yeah. I mean, that's just if they go back to that, that's just ridiculous.
Because that was about to be the if he's heel, because that's the thing. They're gonna turn him snarky Bryan. They're gonna go to WrestleMania, not WrestleMania. They're gonna go to Fastlane. It's gonna be split down the middle. Let's go Roman. Let's go Bryan. Let's go Roman. That's what's happening. Why do you want to split that? Like that's just it's asinine. if one guy's as big as he is, another guy's as big as he is, you let those guys float in their own universe.
Yeah, for sure.
And like they're splitting the crowd between these two. They're turning both of them into like unlikable characters.
Yeah.
And
I don't like Fastlane really as a baby.
and then Brock somewhere chilling, who's the biggest babyface, the most amazing babyface in the company right now, and he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
And what's gonna happen at Fastlane? Sheamus is gonna return. He's gonna bro kick the fuck out of Daniel Bryan.
Just why would he come out though?
Why would he come out? Because he's Sheamus.
Oh, just to be like that.
He's gonna pull a Jericho. Everyone think he's out there to basically be awesome. And I'm like, no, he's gonna be a dick. He's gonna bro the living shit out of Daniel Bryan. And they're gonna get the booking from last year because that's what the booking for WrestleMania is supposed to be.
I think it's just gonna blow up in their face again because I think people are really eager to boo Sheamus. They're not gonna care this.
Hey, Sheamus heel. They're gonna chip.
Oh, Sheamus heel.
A Sheamus heel. Yes.
I thought you were talking about Bryan being all snarky and being like a dick.
No. They're gonna just do that heel turn for this. Not necessarily heel, but snarky. Just a snarky Bryan. A unlikable, not a heel, but an unlikable Daniel Bryan. Sheamus gonna come in and just kick his fucking teeth down his throat at Fastlane. He's gonna be the heel, which he should be, and Bryan's gonna move on, and he's gonna. It's gonna be best for Bryan, man. I don't think this needs to just die down. I think all of it just needs to die the fuck down. Everyone just like let this fucker take his course. They're in a clusterfuck right now, and they're doing any and everything to get out of it. And I think if everyone just calms the fuck down and just let everything work itself out, let Reigns do what he got to do. We still don't know anything about we still don't know if Brock Lesnar's going to resign or not. He's not resigning. I mean, sorry, he's going to resign. He's not going to the UFC. He's not. And we won't even know. And this is wrestling. We won't even know what his contract situation is going to be until the day of.
Yeah, so which is after Mania, right?
Yeah.
So whether he's on that Raw or not pretty much proves.
And I was listening to Court Bauer and Pollock yesterday, and he goes, and even if it's, Brock is loved a lot right now. His Rumble match, like that really skyrocketed him. Yeah. Him getting off that fucking stretcher and running back into the match.
Yeah.
Like that was just like the ultimate babyface, and he just like destroys Cena and fucking Seth Rollins. It's like the most amazing thing. Even if it's like this lame duck thing, possibly could be a lame duck, it still wouldn't get the heat. It wouldn't at all come close to the heat between him and Goldberg. The lame duck match.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, no, because the crowd is going to cheer Brock so hard to stay.
No, I don't think it's going to get like that because I think he's older now, and I think he understands that he can go. This is probably even if he does go.
Do you want him to go or something? Do you want him to leave?
I just think he's going to go. I think
you want him to leave.
I don't.
You want him to leave so Samoa Joe and fucking Daniel Bryan can headline WrestleMania with fucking Sami Zayn as the guest referee. That's what you want. That's what your WrestleMania want. That's what you want.
No, I mean, I've always been a Brock fan, man, but like I just think he is going to go. So like I just think like he plays the two companies against each other to make the most money in the long run.
And this is what, the longer he wait out, the more leverage he has. Again, and this is something I want to clear up last week. He didn't wrestle. He was sick he had the sickness in that fight with Velasquez. He hadn't had the surgery yet. He hadn't had the surgery. When he lost to Velasquez, that's his name? Vasquez?
No, he lost and then he came back after his sickness of the diverticulitis.
After the surgery.
I'm not sure, man.
Okay, he did not get in that ring after surgery.
Okay.
Yeah, like he had surgery after the last match when he was diagnosed with it, and he got into the ring anyway. But he hadn't had the surgery. He he had like a good 6 inches of intestines taken out. You don't take things out of the body, you know, you just don't. I don't care what it is, and expect to act normal. You just don't, especially in your abdomen. There's no way he's going to get into an octagon after having 6 inches of intestine taken out of him. It's just impossible. Impossible. He can't train the same way he used to. He can't fight the same way he used to. The body doesn't operate the same way. 6 inches of intestine. Let's take 6 inches.
It's not about him winning. It's about him making money.
Well, I mean, in the eyes of Dana White,
no,
him as a winner will make him more money. Now, you want to talk about money?
Yeah, but I think they'll pay him like 3 fights for like 2 years or something like that.
Ain't gonna work like that. 3 fights he's gonna lose? No way.
No, I mean you can pull out if you want, if you retire. You know.
Nah, if you better be in for the long haul for something like that. I mean, you want to see your money 10 years from now. You want to see money 15 years from now from a return to Brock Lesnar. Not like 2 or 3 fights. That's not doing anybody no favors. I mean, like, and then maybe three fights. Because if he's just losing, there's no money to be seen.
Well, that's why you keep it safe. Keep it to 3 fights, and then if he does well in 2,
he's not going.
Okay.
It's just impossible. You name anyone. You can have a compound fracture. You can have anything. You're not going to come back to such a vicious sport. Football, hockey, I don't give a fuck. You can break some bones, but if you're taking out like ligaments and intestine, man, fuck that. There's no way in hell. I'm a believer of that. We're going to find out at WrestleMania.
I mean, I want him to. I mean, I don't really care what he does. I'll watch him in UFC. I'll watch him in WWE. Like, it doesn't matter much to me. I think it's interesting either way.
You want him gone. Go admit it. Admit it!
I mean, you're the one who brought this up, man. He wasn't even on the show.
Yeah, because he's better off. Because they would ruin him.
I mean, who knows?
Well,
if they ruin him, then you want him gone. If he's better off,
they can't ruin him.
If he's better off,
I think his contract. I think he has the old WCW contract, where it's like, no, you're not. It's not like I have creative control over myself. Like, you don't have creative control over me. The person who has creative control over me is this guy, this little short Jewish dude named Paul Heyman.
But you said if he's better off, then wouldn't you say he would be better gone for a few years?
No. He's better off TV so they don't ruin him.
That's what I'm saying. So a few years. He should take off a few years and not be ruined.
No. He's doing fine just like this. I don't agree with the belt being gone. But him off TV for a little bit at times makes him special. Makes him a big deal.
Well, yeah. Well, then then why wouldn't it make the belt a bigger deal?
Well, everything. I mean, it makes the belt a bigger deal. Okay. I guess it's like it's an irony. It's like a catch-22 to where I want to see the belt, but I want Brock Lesnar to always remain special. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when he walks into the room, the whole scenery changes. Who else in the WWE does that? And it's not because he's there every fucking week. I tell you that much.
That's cool that the belt does that now. That he's the guy with the belt now.
I've been saying this if you could go back, say, 8, 9 of these.
Well, you just said you weren't a fan. You just said you weren't a fan of the belt being gone.
No, I'm not a fan of the belt being gone, but I'm a fan of him having the fucking belt.
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a catch-22 where I can't have my cake and eat it, where it's like I don't agree with the belt being gone, but I do agree with Lesnar being a special guy showing up from time to time with the belt. You know? When that belt gets on anyone that's on the regular roster that has the thing, which I don't see happening, I don't want happening for a while. Brock Lesnar should just keep that belt for the next 2-3 years, for all I care. It's just as long as he stays.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't have it both ways, but I accept it for what it is.
Word. Do you want to just like
well, we can do a quick run through this. I mean, Bella steals Paige's gear.
Yeah, that was whatever. I thought Bray's promo that he did with, like, I think he's building, like we said, I think he's like maybe like making a casket. He was holding like the stake and everything. That was cool. Yeah. So then they had so Bella's stole Paige's gear, and so she had to come out. She stole one of the Rosebud's gear, so she came out in this like pink dress. I guess that was cool.
Very, and it was just funny because I think the wings supposed to have been on her. I think it was a what do you call it, malfunction? What do you call it?
Wardrobe.
But wardrobe malfunction because her music hits, and she doesn't come out. But then the music hits again, and she comes out with the wings in her hand.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, she's like, fuck, the wings fell off. Like, I think she just wanted to be out there in the wings. They're like, fuck it, and Gorilla, like, just fucking go.
And then like NXT, of course, is where she like got her name. So she was in Orlando. So of course there's a bigger pop, I would say. And Paige wins. She puts in that the Paige lock or whatever.
PTO, that fucking thing is awesome. The crowd popped to that move.
Yep. The bells come out. They kind of cut like a little promo at her. And then we had Rollins and Ziggler. What'd you think of this match?
I look at that match, I go, man, it's a shame that this is on free TV, for one. I don't like Dolph talking. I never have, I never will. Just shut up and wrestle. He's the corniest promo spitter on the roster. Just corny. Like, he comes off just dork. He's like a dork trying to sound cool.
I can see, yeah. He's not really that good, I don't think, but he's not bad. He's not good, he's not bad. It's kind of like whatever, whenever
He's a dork trying to sound cool.
Yeah, but then the whole thing, they kick J&J into the back, and then they come back out, and then Rollins and or Ryback and Rowan come out to save him, which is
J&J do their job. I haven't seen anyone make their money as good as them as any Paul Heyman. You know, he always makes his money. I think Fandango, like who the fuck, Rosa Mendez or whoever the fuck. I think Summer Rae was his valet, and she earned her money when she was the valet for Fandango. But these motherfuckers earn their money.
Yeah,
I mean, they are a believable fucking cast of fucking dudes who are in the best interest of Rollins. Without those guys, Rollins ain't shit, honestly. I mean, it's like, it's 60-40, an important 40 for J&J's involvement into the whole gimmick of Seth Rollins. It's amazing. They'll take anything for that guy.
Yeah.
And it looks, and they look like they're always in panic. You know? If they didn't look so panicky, like when they saved him, was it, Noble gets the brunt of the attack from Rowan and Ryback, and was it who's the other guy?
In J&J Security, you got Joey Mercury.
Joey Mercury. He gets him out of there. Like the president of the United States. Like he runs in, hook or crook, no matter what it takes. He got him out of there, and Noble stayed to get his ass kicked. Like, do you know how important that is to have guys that would do that for you? It's amazing. They do their job like fucking clockwork. Those guys need a fucking slammy.
Slammy.
Yeah, man. Best earned money award. You know, like go through all the valets. J&J wins.
And then well, they're great wrestlers, man. Triple H comes out, recaps what happened last week. Pretty much says he's like not scared of Sting. Flair comes out to a big reaction of, you know, in the South, you know, in Orlando and everything. And
he's a little tipsy at first.
Yeah, he gotta
his words
a little bit.
But he gets out of it.
What'd you think of this whole segment?
Can I go through? I'm just go through the bullet points, the things that I.
Yeah. What did you think?
Flair comes out. Don't take Sting lightly. Don't put yourself in a position to fail. Sting is WCW from Triple H. You know, he is WCW.
Yeah.
I would have ran him out of WWE. This is Triple H.
Yeah, I remember when he said that, yeah.
Flair brings up the Bryan match against WrestleMania. And then he goes, you know, the fact that he lost to Bryan. You think you could walk in the ring with Sting? You could lose to Bryant on the biggest stage. That twerp, and you're gonna lose to. You think you're gonna beat Sting? Don't let me see you. Let me see you sitting on your ass like last Monday. Oh God! Like I was like, if Triple H's gonna hit him, and he pushes him down.
Yeah.
But I was like, God, that was cold blooded. What a 5 fingers to the face kind of moment.
I mean, Flair. This is the second time Flair's gotten physical. Remember, he like went off on Big Show, so he's kind of like coming back a little bit.
Well, a Flair bump is still one of the bump.
Flair bump is awesome.
Flair bump. I mean, you get money out of that, and then he goes, I am WWE. You know.
So obviously, they kind of
they want to make this. They want to make, I guess, the final.
Yeah, the one last time. Yeah.
The final thing between the two promotions. How many years later? 12 years later?
No, 15.
15 years later?
2001, 14 years
Somebody
later.
needs to grow the fuck up.
Like,
someone needs to get over this.
Someone that is now a freshman in high school did not live when WCW was on. Like, it was just.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, let's just say, this dork in high school was picked on by the bully.
Yeah.
Not only he's the bully, he's the fucking captain of the football team. This captain of the football guy peaked in high school, and this nerd goes off to be a CEO somewhere. Not necessarily a CEO, but he runs his business. And then all of a sudden, that high school football team, the high school football team guy, ends up getting a job working for the nerd he used to pick on, right? And it's like, this guy just will not let it go. You know? You remember when you used to fuck with me? Here, take this mop and clean up the place. You know? Like, he just won't get over what happened to him when he was younger. And this Vince versus WCW thing, like, this is a prime example that he's still not over it. And now that Sting's here, finally, out of all the guys, he finally can really put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Now, I don't see Sting not winning. I mean, it's money if Sting wins, regardless. It's money if Sting wins, because you reserve Sting for Undertaker. You get your win. You're going to show up and lose to fucking Triple H, but you will lose to Undertaker in Dallas. And this is going to be the final nail in the coffin. And Bray beats Undertaker.
Yeah, I think you have Taker lose twice, yeah, and then hopefully Taker his body holds up. Hopefully Sting's body holds up, and then you have the final match. Well, that would be awesome. And then moving on to the real story tonight, Darren Young versus his partner. And
they don't even get to his name.
Yeah. And then the Ascension's music hit, and then he just gets kicked out, and Titus O'Neil comes in. Return of the Primetime Players.
Yeah, dude.
That was so. This is definitely a Fastlane material match right here.
Oh yeah, pre-show.
Yeah.
But that poor guy.
Yeah.
Darren Young. Yeah. And they're like, what's his name? Oh God, that dude. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Darren Young's partner, big.
Yeah. It's like,
and he needs shirts that say it. Yeah. I was Darren Young's partner on Raw. Yeah.
But it's the whole Darren Young situation with the tweets and shit, man.
Yeah, what's up with that? So is Primetime Players back, or?
Well, the Primetime Players story isn't as important as this Darren Young Twitter story. To make us long story short, they did the tour over in like Arabia and Saudi Arabia and shit. What do they call it? The Arab Emirates. And they left Darren Young behind. And he went to Twitter and it's like, I don't know why we're going over to a place that treats their women badly and hates gays, right? Then he makes another tweet, and then WWE makes him take it down. And they issue a statement saying, "Well, we wouldn't bring him over here. We're not bringing him over here for his own safety." So the conversation is, so you mean to tell me you're willing to leave people behind because it's in their best interest and you're protecting them? If the whole crew can't go, the Divas can't go, they lowly of the women, So women scantily dressed. That's what they call it. How do you say it?
Scantily clad.
Yeah, scantily clad. Just not gonna fly. And if they all can't go, then nobody should be able to go. Fuck the Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
And just like, you know what? I'm sorry. If we're in a position to protect our talent from going to a place that they should go, why do anybody have to go? Hey man, if I can't go into a fucking bar and you can't, I'm not going into the fucking bar.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck that bar.
Yeah, I hear you.
Eat a dick. And what makes it any different for the WWE? They should be ashamed of themselves.
I never heard about that.
Look into it, dude.
Yeah, well
They should be ashamed of themselves. And this is retribution.
Damn. Well, so prime time. Well, I guess we're all winning because prime time players were entertaining enough. I feel like
they got buried though, and it didn't get the pop that it deserved. I think most people had. I think it was like, oh yeah, they were a tag team, weren't they? Kind of a thing, rather than hey, prime time tag players are back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had Mizdow and the Miz versus Bad News, Miz distracting him throughout the whole match.
Well, it was his whole, he was like, well, I'll look out for you, you look out for me. We need to bring Mizdow down a couple of notches. I will make sure that happens, and I'll look out for you. Yeah,
so then he does this whole bell thing, and Bad News ends up winning, and then Dean Ambrose comes out and attacks Bad News Barrett, makes him sign the contract, zip ties him up. What'd you think of this whole thing?
What the hell? I mean, he makes the best out of all of this stuff.
It was cool though, yeah. I think for one thing, this shows that we're watching an intercontinental title feud, but I think Dean is acting like it's a world title feud. So then people are gonna see how it's like. This is his audition,
Really, a zip tie?
I mean,
zip tie. He forces his hands. This is illegal. This is illegal.
I think.
Hearing him talk, just hearing him complain in English was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, Bad News is hilarious too. Yeah.
And JBL calling it was pretty funny too. But it's just come on. First you got him doing a dumb news segment. Now you got him coming out, zip tying and doing a cheesy forcing of a signature. They won't. I'm not gonna take this guy serious if they're not gonna take him serious. Who does that? Does Cena do that? Does Orton do that? No.
It's been done though. I think people have done it before.
What, to a person who no one gives a rat's ass about?
Yeah, that's in a match. Well, whatever.
That was whatever, dude.
We had the third Bray promos. It was pretty good. And then we had Natty and Kid versus one of the Usos and Naomi. They said this is the first time it was husband and wife versus husband and wife ever on Raw. It was an alright match.
And no. This match is about Naomi and Natty stealing the fucking show. They went in because, Kid would just sort of tag himself out because he's just running away from Jimmy.
Yeah.
But then whenever Naomi and Natty got into the ring, it was these awesome sequences where they would just sort of stalemate. I think one was led to a sort of back and forth off the ropes that led into holds that led into a double drop kick. And then there was another one that was just hold after hold after hold after hold over the back, flip, standoff. And the crowd fucking popped holy shit.
Yeah. This
is awesome. And I'd imagine that was because of the Divas NXT shit. These women are so talented.
Do you think they're going to have a Divas Battle Royal this year with NXT, a women's gauntlet for Mania or something like that? They always do something with the Divas. And I think this year they need to do something where it's a one-on-one chain match.
No, because here's the thing. Who are the Divas on the main roster?
Let's see, Natty, Naomi, Paige, maybe AJ, maybe Emma.
No, not Emma or AJ. Just
the Bellas, Alicia Fox, Cameron.
And who's
Summer Rae?
Who are the Divas on the NXT? And how many of those Divas on the main roster are basically NXT chicks?
Just Emma, Paige.
Okay. and you got Flair, Lynch.
Yeah.
Who just won the
Bailey. And
Summer Rae.
Not Summer Rae.
Not Summer Rae.
What's her name?
Yeah, Summer Rae's
Sasha Banks.
Summer Rae's an NXT girl.
Oh yeah.
It would be unfair. I think it would be completely unfair matchup. I think it would be unfair. And the fact that those two women went in there and basically stole the show, I mean, it was beautiful. It just goes to show that these girls are talented. And then after all of that, your boy goes in and chastises her about getting sharpshooter wrong. And they're getting Natty over with that.
Well, I mean,
I think it's great. It's great.
The sharpshooter is a successful move if applied correctly.
Man, get out of here.
You know, like Sting.
They're trying to get Natty over. They're getting Natty over with Kid being a dick.
I'm just
and I know you're messing around. It's pissing me off. And hey, now telltale signs. Cesaro stepping in. Hey man, stop giving her shit.
Do you think this is gonna be?
Dude, I said it like fucking 3 weeks ago.
That's a Mania feud right there. That needs to be the curtain jerker for Mania. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Are you kidding me? That would steal the show.
Cesaro would steal the show.
That match would steal the show.
But do you remember me talking 4 weeks ago about Cesaro and Natty holding hands, going around like I think it was after a Kid match, because they're outside supporting him. He grabs her by the hand. They walk together out. I said, man, keep an eye on that. You're like, nah, I didn't want to do that. I'm telling you, dude, it's going to be this thing, because apparently they want an affair thing somewhere.
Yeah, because they were trying to do it with Miz and Naomi.
Yeah, they want it somewhere, and maybe this is the opportunity to get. And I think it would be great. I think it would be good for all parties involved.
That's true. Yeah,
it'd probably be the hottest storyline.
The Usos are already on TV, so they're in the position to say no to this stuff. Where these guys probably look good to do like kind of an angle like that on TV.
And it looks believable. Miz and Naomi doesn't look so believable, and it's not because of the color difference. I think it's because they're such worlds apart. You know, like how? Like him just randomly walking up to her and be like, "Hey, you know, I can help you out."
Yeah.
Like that just seems sleazy.
It would be, it would add a sleazy element.
Yeah.
With this Cesaro thing, just seems kind of like, well, your husband's being a dick, kind of. So.
Yeah. Your husband's being a dick. We're tag team. We're moving up the card. I see, and you're awesome. You're Natty the Legend. I see how he treats you, and I don't like it, kind of thing. And yeah, so
it's gonna be good. Well, we're just gonna go over probably the main event real quick.
But that's all that's left.
Yeah.
Bryan versus Big Show.
Roman's out there. What'd you think? It's like, oh yeah, he's throwing out T-shirts.
It's eye for an eye.
Like a bear hug shirt.
And they're taking selfies in the crowd, making him into a very. The thing is, Bryan doesn't seem as distracted.
Oh, did you see the neon couple? There's like this old neon this old couple that wears neon every Mania, and they were there because like Roman was in the crowd, and they were there tonight.
I don't know the neon couple.
Well, I don't know. They're huge fans of Cena's, and they're always there. They're normally in the front row at WrestleManias, and one of them wears a neon green and one of them wears neon pink. And they were there in the crowd tonight. I saw them. So that was cool. Yeah,
okay.
That's cool. It's always cool to like see them at Mania. I think they always wear those stuff just to like stand out.
Is this something I should care about?
I don't know if anyone else knows about them, but neon couple, I see you.
That's like Mark
crowd.
shit.
What?
It's Mark. That's
They're
Mark
in the crowd,
shit.
man. They're in the crowd.
Yeah, it's like
Brock Lesnar guy.
Yeah, well, Brock Lesnar guy.
It's like the same thing. It's like.
But Brock Lesnar guy. But Brock Lesnar guy is Brock Lesnar guy, and then the guy in the white jacket.
And dude,
what's that dude? You know what I'm talking about? The really tall dude who's a Cena fan. He always wears a white jacket.
So why are these guys? Why is that not Mark shit? Why are these guys?
But you don't see this guy. He's always in the same place. I'm like, what the fuck does this guy do for a living?
I'm just saying. So what? That's the same as Mark shit.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's like 6'8", and he wears a white jacket with like flares down the fucking sleeve, and he has a Cena shirt under it. Like that guy is that guy. He's at every pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's cool that those people do that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just go like, what kind of work schedule do you have, and how much money do you make?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would never do it, but it's cool that they do it, and it's like now they're like kind of.
So it's Neon Couple.
Neon Couple.
I'll pay attention next time.
Dude, they're definitely in the early 22 to 27 Manias. Like they are heavily like.
Wow.
Yeah, they're there.
Okay.
And then.
But yeah, I went looking for the selfies he took, And I found one of the selfies he took
I
live.
found one, yeah.
Yeah.
And Daniel ends up winning with a big drop kick, and then Roman and Daniel just brawl to end Raw.
Yeah, because
I mean, they're messing up each other's matches, man.
Well, that Superman punch he put on fucking Big Show was pretty brutal. I mean, he's fucking Big Show up. Between like that and like that spear from the other week, and he's fucking Show up. I mean, that's what Show is, though. He's that guy. He's the enhancement for Roman Reigns, because it seems like Roman Reigns is getting these, out of all the garbage and the crap that we get from Reigns or whatever, that him trying to develop, he still has these awesome spots on the Big Show that really makes you forget all about the bad stuff.
That's true.
But Reigns, I was listening to PW Torch, and and he goes, man, like, God, like, this guy calls in, he goes like, man, like, people really talk about like Reigns and him not being a wrestler, but like, have we seen a wrestling move from him? He goes, I don't remember a body slam, a hip toss. He's like, I can't recall ever seen anything. A headlock. He's like, I haven't seen it yet. Applied by Roman Reigns. And I go, you're right. I haven't seen him do one wrestling move.
That's kind of what I'm saying, man. You need to do that stuff in order to.
That's funny. Like, but the way he sounded, the way that this caller sounded, it was just like, God, man, like a body slam, a hip toss, a hip toss, a headlock. Like, we haven't seen these things out of him yet. I just thought that shit was hilarious. But yeah, that brawl, it's probably one of the first times I've seen like a good amount of people's praise of Raw. Like, people were like, this was a good Raw.
They thought it was good?
Yeah, I saw overwhelming.
Well, that's interesting, because I thought it was just a placeholder. I think last week's Raw got you kind of hyped for Fastlane with the
Fastlane
with the Sting thing and all that, but this week was just kind of like, you already knew that Bryan and Reigns were having a little bit of a beef. You already knew that Rusev and Cena were going to wrestle, and you kind of already knew that Sting and Triple H didn't like each other. So what did they do?
Fastlane predictions?
Shit.
So let's, like, who do you know? Who do we know?
Let's see, Rusev versus Cena.
Give me one. Well, I'm a. What is that? So 30.
I gotta actually get out of here now.
Do you have to get out of here?
Yeah, I got work at 4.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh. So sorry that wasn't able to do a Fast Lane prediction show. We were running short on time. But yes, if I was to go through all the plugs, be sure to go to pjtwcentral.com, where you can basically get all of these podcasts through different sites, with Tumblr, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher Radio. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at either at Ellen Japanese, SLINJAPANESE. You can follow him at JG Pro Wrestling, and also the PJTW Central Twitter account at PJTW Central. We're going to have a prediction show this Saturday. We'll probably do a call-in, just so, we'll probably call it in and whatnot, and give you our thoughts and views going into Fastlane, the card, and who we think is going to win, and what stories are moving on to WrestleMania. Again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Please tune in next week.